Oh, give me land, lots of land under starry skies above, but don't fence me in. Let me ride through the wide open country that I love, but don't fence me in. Let me be by myself in the evening breeze, listen to the murmur of the cottonwood trees. Send me off forever, but I ask you please, don't fence me in.
I'd first like to thank the board for allowing my voice and the voice of the rest of the community to be heard.
I want to thank you all for opening up this discussion because I think it's one that needs to be addressed. Thank you guys for letting us have our voice heard and let us come out. For many of you, this will be the second time I have spoken to you in a week, thanks to APGov.
I can only assume that all of us board members, you have the best interests of the students at heart, and I have no doubt in believing that. But if we look at results from places such as the American Academy of Pediatrics, there have been no conclusive studies that random drug testing actually in any way limits drug use among students.
In order to inform my opinion on the proposed drug testing policy, I've read peer-reviewed academic papers and studies from the Journal of Child and Adolescent Substance Abuse, the Journal of Alcohol and Drug Education, and other academic publications. These studies and papers have concluded that drug testing is not an effective means for reducing drug consumption in schools. Additionally, many national organizations have spoken out against random drug testing in schools, such as the American Academy of Pediatrics, the Association of Addiction Professionals, and even the OHSAA, the Ohio High School Athletic Association. The National PTA President, Linda Haas, stresses that any drug testing that does occur should be made non-punitive. The proposed plan is punitive and could even take students who test positive out of extracurriculars despite scientific evidence that one of the best ways to reduce drug use is to use participation in extracurriculars.
Speaking from experience for a lot of kids that struggle with this does not serve as a deterrent, but rather this just serves as them that they're going to drop out of that extracurricular. They're going to forego their parking privileges and only descend further into a place where we don't want them to be.
I agree this policy isn't perfect, but it's more than just not perfect. It's harmful. It'll push away the people that we need to help.
I am fully immersed in the youth culture at Granville, and I am confident that I understand my peers in a way that most Granville adults, parents, community members do not. I'm worried that this policy unintentionally drives kids with the biggest problems underground and forces them out of their extracurriculars. Implementing this policy is in fact only going to further isolate you, our educators, from your students. Right now, we are afraid to ask for help because of the impossible burdens we as Granville students face.
Implementing something like this would just breed more distrust and non-cooperation between the teachers and the students.
A lot of people in general mention that students have a lot of issues with their mental health and stress, and one person said that if we're like feeling like that, we kind of just need to shut up and deal with it. They're saying, like, why would you turn to drugs and alcohol? That's stupid. But they're not giving us actual resources or help to deal with mental health when we're all just kids and we don't really know how to deal with it. I know so many people, especially now since it's my junior year, that are constantly tired and they feel like they're gonna crack. And I just know so many people that are on like the brink of going crazy from schoolwork. And the board, you said you spent 2 years developing a drug policy, but did you spend 2 years developing a mental health policy?
Like one of the previous speakers said that it is illegal for teenagers to drink underage. It's illegal for anyone to do illegal drugs, which is true. But it's not the high school's job to legally enforce what I'm doing. That's the court's job.
This district needs a drug policy that is informed by scientific research and fact, not a policy that infringes upon the privacy of their students despite scientific research.
Students from Granville are supposed to excel and exceed expectations, and that is a lot to place upon the shoulders of people who are not yet adults. And so many children do turn to illegal substances because they don't know what else to do. I've been in the classroom where a student has asked a well-respected teacher a question about drinking, and the response was, "We shouldn't be drinking." What does the student addicted to prescription drugs think when a teacher dismisses and condemns instead of informs? They do not feel that they can come to you for help. And once they get caught up in this cycle of substance abuse,
the stigma around that is too strong for them to come to you to get help out of that. And so I ask you that instead of this policy, you consider reducing the stigma around substance abuse. And you consider the fact that we are people with issues who struggle just like you do, and that you do not make us be afraid.
I'd just like to say I in no way condone drugs, and that is something that I do not participate in, but I do personally know many of my friends and people who I know dearly have been affected greatly by this.
I want to touch on the fact that coming up here and being able to speak as a student and as a parent, it draws the thought of what other people are going to think of me. Are they going to think that if I oppose this, that I'm a druggie, that I condone it within my students? And I think that this is a line that is, judgment is big, and I think that, especially this opt-out program, I think it draws a deeper line between students that opt out, students who don't, students who have to take this drug test, and students who don't. And what's that really doing to the community? I think our high school as an environment itself is rather hostile, and I think that this draws a line further between the students and creating a more hostile environment and creating a division between our teachers and people implementing the policy and our students.
It really is an issue that should, in my mind, be decided solely by the parents.
Someone also mentioned that trying to preserve my rights or my friend's rights is only like for me to go and use, and that is so incorrect because like preserving rights has a lot more to do with an issue of morality.
I wanna ride to the ridge where the west commences, gaze at the moon till I lose my senses. I can't look at the hobbles and I can't stand fences. Don't fence me in. Alright. Starry skies above, starry skies above, starry skies above. Land, that's a land, that's a land, that's a land. Let me be by myself in the evening breeze. Listen to the murmur of the cottonwood trees. Send me off forever, but I beg you please. Don't fence me in. Oh no, don't fence me in.
If any legislation is passed, it should be passed with unanimity. That's a hard word.
Yeah, I'm shaking a little bit, so I'm just gonna go. I didn't come prepared. I just wanted to say my point, and yeah.